to intermediate physics. Today I am going to explain the concept of kinematics. Yeah. So the today topic is kinematics. So first let me define what is the kinematics. So as you all know, the kinematics is a branch of physics which explain the motion of the objects without referring the cause of its motion. And more appropriately, the kinematics can also be mentioned as one dimensional motion, which means the kinematics explain the motion of the objects which are travel along the x-axis or y-axis. So the object should travel either along the x-axis or y-axis, along the x-axis or y-axis. So these two types of motions can be explained by using kinematics. So before entering into the main topic of the kinematics, some of the terms that we need to know. So first of all, we need to know the term distance or distance and displacement. So all of you please look at the diagram. So in this diagram, as I'm showing here, the object has started from the point A and finally reached to the point B by following the path A, C, D, B. So the path which it has followed is A, C, D, B. The starting point is A and the ending point is B. Now I will define what is the distance and what is the displacement. Now coming to the distance, so simply we can say, so what is the distance? The distance is the total length of the path which the object has followed. So from the side picture, the distance is A, C, D, B. So this is the distance. Now coming to the displacement. So what is the displacement? There I am showing with the blue arrow mark. So that shows you the minimum distance between the starting point to the ending point. So the definition for the displacement is, so now I will define the displacement. So a simple definition for the displacement is uh, the shortest distance between the starting point to the ending point is known as the displacement. Now from the picture, the shortest distance will be is which I have already shown with the blue arrow. So the shortest distance or the displacement will be is equal to AB. So the displacement will be the AB and the distance will be the ACDB. Once again I am defining what is the distance and displacement. So the distance is the total length which has followed by the object, that is the distance, and the displacement is the shortest distance between the starting point to the ending point. For example, I will consider one more example. For example, there is a point A and for example there is a point B. Let me say, for example, an object has started from point A, reached to the point B, and again started from B and reached to the point A. So in this case, the starting point and ending point is same because the object has returned. So the distance is, so coming to the what are the distance and what are the displacement, let me explain with this example again. So in this second example, the distance is equal to A to B plus B to A, the total length. For example, the AB is 5 meter and again BA is also will become 5 meter. So the total distance will be is equal to 10 meter. But coming to the displacement, so as I said, the displacement is the shortest distance between starting point ending point. But in the second example, the starting and ending point is the same, both are A only, so the displacement will be the 0. So this is how the distance and displacement can be explained. So once again I will say, the distance is the total path length, the displacement is the shortest distance between the starting point and ending point. Now I will define the speed and velocity. So in a simple way I will explain what is the speed and what is the velocity. Now first I will explain what is the speed. The speed I will represent with S. So the speed is equal to S is equal to the definition for the speed is the rate of changing the distance is known as the speed. So S is equal to, we can say, d by t, where t is the time. where t is the time, d is the distance. So the rate of changing distance is known as the speed. So s is equal to d by t. So coming to the velocity. So what is the velocity? Velocity, the velocity is let me express with the velocity with the v. So v is equal to the rate of changing displacement with respect to time is known as a velocity. So the speed is the rate of changing distance with respect to time, but the velocity is the rate of changing displacement with respect to the time. So finally I will write only the equation. The speed s is equal to d by t, and the velocity v is equal to capital D by t. So this is the equation for speed and velocity. Now all of you please look at this diagram. There is a simple trigonal formula, so that easily we can remember. So d is equal to, so see here, we as we have, so see here, v is equal to d by t. So see here, so the down v is equal to d by t. Or if you want to write for the equation d, so if you write this same equation for d, what will happen? D is equal to s into t. Or if you write this equation, capital D is equal to v into t. So this is all can represent here. So d is equal to v by t. So this is all about what is the speed and what is the velocity. So the speed is rate of changing distance, the velocity is rate of changing displacement. Now I'll explain one more thing. Yeah, with an example. For example, here an object, for example, there are 2 points, a point is A, the other point is B. An object, for example, an of mass m, started from point A and moved to the point B. Yeah, and let me say the object started from point A with a velocity, let me say u, and reached to the point B with a velocity v, let me say. Now usually the initial velocity will represent with the small u and the final velocity will represent with the small v. Now as I said here with my from our previous example, the object started from point A with initial velocity u, and after reaching to the point B, the final velocity is v. Now if I want to know what is change in velocity, the change in velocity usually represents with a delta. So the change in velocity will be equal to v final minus v initial. So the change in velocity can be expressed as, it is the change in final velocity to the initial velocity. So in our case, the final velocity is v minus initial velocity is u. So this expression will explain you change in velocity. So if you want to know the change in velocity for a particular object, so delta v is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity. So this is the other term that you need to know, what is change in velocity. So till now what we have learnt. So we have discussed about what is the distance and what is the displacement, what is the speed and what is the velocity, and what is change in velocity. Now as I said here, the velocity is not always a constant. So the velocity will increases sometimes and sometimes it decreases. So if it is increasing, which means it is accelerating. If it is decreasing, which means it is decelerating, we can say. So now here we need to define what is an acceleration. So coming to the definition for the acceleration, so usually the acceleration will be defined as acceleration. So usually the acceleration will be represented with the term a. So the acceleration will be defined as the rate of change in velocity, so delta v by t. So how fastly the velocity is increasing or how fastly the velocity is decreasing will be explained by the acceleration. So the simple definition for the acceleration is a is equal to delta v by t, or we all know here what is delta v, v minus u, you just substitute here. So a is equal to v minus u by t. So this is the expression for the acceleration. So an acceleration of an object can be expressed as v minus u by t, and the same thing here you can see here. And there is again a triangle. So see here, by using this triangle also you can easily remember how we can represent the acceleration in terms of velocity. So first you need to get understood that what is an acceleration, and the term of acceleration first you need to understood. then I'll explain what is the deceleration. So yeah, first I'll explain acceleration once again. For example, there is a path, point A and point B, and an object, as I said, an object of mass m started point A and reached to the point B. Let me say the velocity of the mass or the object at A, let me say u, or let me say u, and the velocity of object at B, let me say v. For example, if the velocity increases, which means the final velocity is greater than the initial velocity, which means the acceleration is positive. So the object is accelerated. So the velocity is increases. So in other words, if the acceleration is positive, which means the velocity increases. And for example, if the object, if the initial velocity is greater than the final velocity, which means the velocity is decreasing, so that the acceleration is negative. So here you need to understand that if the acceleration is negative, then the velocity will decreases. For example, if you are driving a car, and if you start the car with 0 velocity and you are accelerating it, and it reaches to 100 km/h, let me say, so which means it is accelerating. After reaching to 100 km/h, what you need to do, you need to apply a brake, let me say, if you want to stop. So after applying the brakes, what will happen, the velocity of the car will decreases. That means in the first case the acceleration is positive, in the second case, since the velocity is decreasing, the acceleration is negative. So this is the point you need to understood. So if the acceleration is positive, that is known as acceleration. If the acceleration is negative, that can also be known as deceleration. So the negative acceleration will be represented as deceleration, and the positive acceleration will be represented as acceleration. And once again I will explain you. If the acceleration is positive, so I will write here simply, if the acceleration is positive, so velocity increases. If the acceleration is negative, the velocity decreases. So this is the point that you need to remember. So after knowing these simple basic terms, so first let me remind once again. So we discussed about a distance and displacement, speed and velocity, and change in velocity, and then acceleration. Now these four equations are very important equations for the kinematics, and by using these four equations we can explain any object motion. When if it is traveling along the x-axis or y-axis, we can easily explain the motion of that object. So these four equations are very important. Now I'll explain these four equations, how to derive these four equations. Now I'm going to explain. So one by one I will explain the derivation of these four equations. The first equation is as v is equal to u plus at. So first I will derive this relation. And so as you all know, the equation for the acceleration, what is the equation for the acceleration, you just recollect, otherwise I will show you. So what is the relation for the acceleration? A is equal to v minus u by t, or a is equal to delta v by t. So by using that relation, let us derive this relation. Yeah, it is very simple. So as you all know, acceleration is equal to change in velocity by time, or acceleration is equal to v minus u by t. You just take t to the other side, so that what will happen, the final equation, v minus u is equal to, so v minus u is equal to at. You just take the u to the other side, so final expression is v is equal to u plus at. So this is our expression. So remember, this is first kinematic equation. Let me write as 1. So this is first kinematic equation. Now let us explain the second kinematic equation. What is the second kinematic equation? S is equal to ut plus half at square. So now let me explain the second kinematic equation. So the second kinematic equation, what is the second kinematic equation? S is equal to ut plus half at square. So before derive the relation for this equation, first you need to know the average velocity, which I forgot there. So first I'll explain what is an average velocity. So first I'll explain average velocity, then I'll come to this equation. Yeah. So first here I will explain average velocity and then I will go there. Okay. As I said here, once again I'll repeat. For example, an object started from a point A and reached to point B, and the initial velocity u, final velocity v. So if you want to know v average, so what is the v average? So the equation for the v average is equal to v plus, sorry, the I'll write once again. So the equation for v average is equal to v plus u by 2. So this is the equation for v average, and we can also represent the v average is equal to total distance traveled by total time. So the distance s is equal to, we can also known as v average into time. So this is the equation which we will use to derive the relation. So S is equal to V average into T. Now coming to the relation, so S is equal to UT plus half AT square. This is what we need to derive now. So yeah, so first let me take that relation that where S is equal to V average into T. But what is the V average? As we all know, what is V average? V plus U by 2 into T. That is V average. And from our previous relation, what is V? V is equal to U plus AT. You just substitute this V is equal to U plus AT in S relation. So S is equal to, at the place of V you need to write U plus AT. So U plus AT plus U divided by 2 into T. Now, so you see here, yeah, now S is equal to, see there are 2 U plus U, 2U. So 2U plus AT divided by 2 into T. Now, so 2U and divide the 2, the denominator 2 you please write for the both the terms. So finally you will get S is equal to 2U by 2. So 2U by 2 and multiply with the T plus A into T by 2 into T. So 2 gets cancelled. So the final relation will be S is equal to UT plus half AT square. So this is the expression number 2, an important expression number 2. So this is the second kinematic expression. Now coming to the last kinematic expression, an important kinematic expression, I'll write the third equation. So what is the third kinematic expression? V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. So the third important kinematic equation is V square minus is equal to 2AS. So now I'll derive this relation. So how to derive this relation? So as you all know, just now I said S is equal to V average into T. That is what S is equal to V average into T, which I have given just now. Now let me write what is V average. As we all know, V average is equal to U plus V by 2. And then we also know V is equal to U plus AT. And you please write this equation for T. Then what will happen? T is equal to V minus U by A. So we have V average and T. We have expression for V average and we have also expression for T. You just substitute V average and T in S relation. So come to here. Now S is equal to what is the V average? V plus U by 2 into, and what is T? V minus U by A. So V minus U by A. Now, so, and S is equal to, see there, V plus U into V minus U. So V plus U into V minus U divided by 2A. And as you all know, what is the expression for a plus b into a minus b? A square minus b square. So v plus u into v minus u. So finally s is equal to v square minus u square divided by 2a, and take that 2a to the other side. So finally you will get that 2as is equal to v square minus u square, and this can also be written as v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So this is the third expression for the third important expression for the kinematics. So till now we have derived the three relations for the kinematics. Number one is v is equal to u plus at. Number two, s is equal to ut plus half at square. Number three, v square minus u square is equal to 2as. I will write once again all three equations at the same place so that you will get to know. The first relation we have derived, v is equal to u plus at and s is equal to ut plus half a t square. Third relation, v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So these three are very important equations to describe the motion of object if it is moving along the x-axis or y-axis. So very important equations. So this is the derivations. Now I'll explain how the velocity or the distance or the time will varied with respect to the another. So I'll explain by using a graph. So the graphical analysis of any physical parameters are very important. If you could able to analyze the graphs, then only you will get the concept 100%. So here I'll explain how the graph is varied, how graphically varied the velocity and the time. So see here, this is the relation which we have already derived just now. Just here the s is replaced with x, and the x naught is initial distance. So for example, I will make the initial distance to 0. So there is no importance of x naught, and here the v naught is the initial velocity. There in our equations we have mentioned that u as a u. So this is half at square, where a is an acceleration. So in this simulation, this is a simulation, I will show you how the velocity increases and how the velocity is relates to the time, how the distance is relates to the time. I will show you with an example, with an animation. So you please try to understood. So see here, so initially the acceleration I have taken as 1.7, the initial velocity is 1.9, and it is starting from origin. Now let me start run. So you see here, you please observe the velocity, how the velocity is varying with respect to time. I will reset and I will run once again. So see here, how the velocity is varying with respect to time. The velocity is increases linearly. The velocity is increases linearly. That is the point you need to understood here, because it is a straight line. So when the acceleration is constant, so the velocity increases linearly. So the velocity increases linearly, straight line. Now coming to the distance, how the distance is varying, it is a parabolic path, because you see here from the relation you can see here x is relates to t square. So and you please try to understood how the velocity is varying with respect to time and how the distance varying with respect to time. So if you want to this simulation, I will provide in the description. You can click on the simulation, you can play with yourself and you can get understood. Now the second simulation I will show you. Yeah, so here in this explanation I will show you how the velocity and time is varied. So see here, yeah, this is the graph velocity versus time. So in this graph you see here, the first 10 seconds the velocity increases, and the next 10 seconds the velocity remained constant. In the next 10 seconds the velocity decreases to 0 and go to the negative side, which means the velocity is going to the negative side, which means the object is moving in in opposite direction. That you need to remember. And you please try to see the acceleration values. For the first 10 seconds, since the velocity increases, the acceleration is positive, and for the next 10 seconds the velocity is remained constant, so the acceleration is 0, and for the next 10 seconds you see here the velocity is decreased, so the acceleration is negative. That you need to understood. And for example, if I change the graph something like this. So what I did, you please see here, for the first 20 seconds the velocity is increased, for the next 20 seconds the velocity is decreased. So see here, for the first 20 seconds the velocity increases linearly, so acceleration is 1, and the distance covered is, in the first 10 seconds it's covered 50 meters, the next 10 seconds it has covered 150 meter, because the velocity has increased, no? Yeah, the next 20 seconds the velocity starts decreasing, so that the acceleration is becoming negative. And for example, I kept here, so for the next 10 seconds the velocity is 0, which means the object is at rest only, it has not moved to anywhere, so it has taken the rest for next 10 seconds, so the acceleration is 0, the distance covered is also 0. And for the next 10 seconds the velocity is increased to 40, so the acceleration is 4, and it has maintained for next 40, so 60 to 30, I means 30 seconds it has maintained same velocity, so the same distance has traveled in each 10 seconds, you please see here. So this is how we can analyze the graph v versus t, and how the acceleration is varied. And in this graph, this is an animated graph, you can change to any value and you can observe how the velocity is varying, how the acceleration is varying, how the distance is varying. So for example, if I change this value to here, which means in between 70 to 80 in 10 seconds the velocity is decreased from 40 to 0, the velocity is decreased from 40 to 0, the distance covered is 200 meters. So the acceleration is negative, -4. For example, I'll drag this up. So before the first 10 seconds it has reached from 0 to 40, the next 10 seconds it reaches from 40 to 0. So in the first 10 seconds the acceleration is +4, the next 10 seconds the acceleration is -4. So this is acceleration, this is deceleration. So this is the animated graph. You can easily understood how the velocity is varied with respect to time, and with respect to velocity and time how the acceleration is also varied, we can easily understood. And the final graph I will show you. Yeah, so in this graph how the acceleration affects the velocity I will show you. So here, as I said, here you see here the acceleration is in negative side, which means the velocity should decrease. For example, if I bring the acceleration to here, yeah, for example if I bring the acceleration to here and here, and if I keep the velocities here, yeah, and you see here, so the acceleration is positive, which means the velocity increases, the acceleration is negative, which means the velocity decreases. This is again, it will explain how the acceleration affects the velocity and time, how the velocity depends on time. So this is all about the kinematics, the basic kinematics. So basic kinematic definitions and all basic equations of the kinematics, and how the each parameter is varied with respect to the another parameter. So with this I will stop the class, and in the next class I will explain you the two motions of the projectile. So the projectile motions, the freely falling object and a vertically projected body. I will explain the freely falling object and vertical projected body in the next class. So thank you.